Sometimes I need to approach an area and I need to be able to interact with an object. Or if I approach an NPC, I would like the ability to start a conversation, but I don't want the player to move. Or I approach an area and I want a dialogue to pop up to start like a chain of events. Or maybe I want the camera to pan to a certain area. Or maybe I approach a cave and when I get to this cave, I only want the player to teleport to the other side of the cave instead of just like have the player kind of go through with it to kind of show that they went through this whole chain of events that happened. The question is, how do I do that? So, which is actually a problem I had to solve recently. Now, there's certain parts of the game where you've already seen me kind of solve this problem before. However, I just kind of did it very quickly. And it started to create like a bunch of one-off like sets of scripts that started to kind of montage into each other and started to create this little prehistoric little dinosaur and a big mess of spaghetti that started to like build up on top of each other. And no, this script doesn't exactly mean any particular thing, and it just kind of kept growing and growing, and it just became something else. But I think I made a solution that I'm a lot happier with, and I wanted to share with you guys and get your thoughts on it. See what you think. Now at this point, you've already seen this next part several times. I walk a little bit forward, a dialogue starts, says, "Ah, come help me, I'm under attack." And now you have to go save the girl. But at the time it was kind of a collage of scripts, so I kind of made a little bit of a nicer system that I could reuse in a few different spots. So if we take a quick look, you can see I kind of have this big rectangle here, right? And my player is right here. The second the player enters, that's when the dialogue is going to trigger. But all that's happening inside of this component over here. When I enter, that's going to trigger my publisher content. Now this is pretty simple. It just has like an on trigger event. And this on trigger event is going to loop through and call all of the subscribers, which are right here. 1, 2, 3. Now each of these subscribers does something different. The sub player controller is going to remove control of the player. The sub dialogue is going to start the dialogue script for the content that's going to show. And this sub quest is going to start the actual quest. So if we move a little bit forward, see, help me. And then now I have to go in and do the save the girl quest. Okay, so now that the last guy's killed, if we check the village girl out, we can see that she kind of has this big capsule, or not a capsule, a big sphere around her, right? But, so here we can see this big ass sphere around her. However, in this component, I can see I have this pub alert, and then I have sub player controller and sub dialogue. Now from the previous one, the same thing happens. The collider is going to go in, but this time, instead of forcing them to go into a dialogue, this one specifically is going to give them the option to interact with the character. So either we can interact with them by pressing a key to interact, or we can choose not to. If we choose to interact, what's going to happen is it's going to trigger this sub player controller, which is going to disable my player controller, and then it's going to call this sub dialogue, which is going to start the dialogue content. So if we head to her, you see I have this hit F to interact, and this little bubble appeared right above her. Head back, it's gone, there, it's gone, there, it's gone, it's there. I'm gonna hit F. I lost full control of the character. If you can see the mouse moving around, and the character is not rotating to the mouse anymore. But the content's clickable. Thank you for saving me. I don't know what happened. I was by the pond. Oh, you guys haven't even read this content yet. I wasn't sure what to do. I ran to our town center, but suddenly everyone's missing. I wanted to find someone to help, but everyone disappeared. Bam. And then she kind of goes back to her regular motion. And the whole subscriber base just kind of finished already. And if you see, if I try to go back in, you kind of see up here that it's not triggering anymore. And that's because at the end of the interaction, I'm having the whole interaction finished. Now let's go to the last one just to check it out. We have one more spot to check out. So if we go and check out the cave, right, we can see that there's kind of like this big box right here. And then here in the game menu, you can see it says hit F to interact. So we have this in here again. And that has to do with our teleporters, right? So here, this is basically the interaction box for the cave entrance. Here's the cave entrance. And we could see here we have this pub warp, which is, to warp them. Disable objects, which is what I'm using to disable any objects so I can do other kinds of interactions. Right now you can see that the list is empty, so when it's going to disable, it's not really going to do much. And I have this other one which is called sublight, which I'm still adjusting. It's basically this light right here, and what I wanted to do is as I leave the area, it's going to go back to black, and then as I go back in, this light is going to turn on to kind of show you that you're going the right way. So that's what this light thing is for. But either way, you can see I can kind of do hit F to interact, and then now it kind of teleported me to another place. Pretend there's a big cave right here. There's like a big cave right here. Boom, there you go. There's my cave entrance. And there's all the rocks for the cave, right? And I just came out from this cave entrance. So here I can kind of go and explore the area, or I could go back and then travel through the cave again, and I'm back here on the other side of the cave. And I can kind of leave, come back, and just keep going back and forth through the interactions. Now, if you're interested in kind of making this for yourself, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I will kind of show you the base implementation. So if you just wanted to do it yourself, you can. And it's pretty simple. So the main thing that matters, I'm using pub base because all my publishers have basically kind of come off this pub base. You can kind of see like all these other ones, they all come from pub base. But the main thing that matters is specifically this line right here and this interface right here. So this interface is just you just add this to all your subscribers, and basically it's just going to get the component for all the children for that interface, right? And I'm going to use pub content because pub content forces the interaction to happen. And in pub content, all that's happening is that I'm going through all the subscribers, and this is happening after. So you can kind of see on trigger enter, and then start subscription. That's going to start here. You can see all the it's going to iterate through all the subscribers. It's going to get one of the subscribers, and then it's going to call a method in there called on trigger event start. And then at the end of the event start, I have something extra here, which is just stop all subscriptions, which is like if I wanted to do a little bit of a extra thing to kind of stop it from doing something that the subscriptions themselves can't do, or that something should be handled on this level. And if we take a look at the sub dialog here on the right, we are triggering on trigger event start. There you go. You can see on trigger event start, checking the active level. I'm getting my content from my database, and then I'm just starting the trigger with that content that I just kind of fetched from the database. And that's it. This is pretty much going to start the UI trigger. And that's pretty much it. If we check sub light, I know I didn't really have a good light example, but this one's pretty small. You can kind of see on trigger event start. It's going to try to scale the intensity. Here, the scale intensity, I could max is 25, by the way. This is 1. This is 25, just so you know, min max. It's going to set what the target is. It's going to try to transition to it, and it's going to set the Boolean flag true. Once this Boolean flag is true, it's going to start this, and then it's going to start to like kind of scale the light from a very low intensity to a high intensity light. I know I didn't have this set up, but I wanted to show you how this on trigger event start and stop kind of works in this sense. And one more, let's check out player component. When it starts, toggle player input. I'm using UCC. So in UCC, I just sent out an event that just says, hey, this is false. So, disable the player controller. If the event stops, trigger true. And then the toggle in this case is going to be true. So then now the player gets their player controller back. And that's it. Now, I know it's been a little while since I made a video, and I appreciate you guys being patient with me. So I've been working on a few house projects. I'm not going to show you what they are. And I've also been working on the other project, Varadia. If you checked out my website recently, you see at the very bottom, there's an option in there that says Varadia. You can check out the prologue video, click the website, and then check out what that project's all about. We're getting to a point where that project is almost Kickstarter ready. In the next coming months, the next coming projects, I may not only be sharing stuff about this project, but about Varadia as well. And the whole reason is because we're almost ready to kind of have like a demo version of the project out for you guys. And if you guys could check it out, that would be awesome. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated and posted. And if you guys like my content, like what I'm sharing here and doing, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you think. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. And until next time, laters.